prayer and keep them in your prayers. And I want to thank all the people that are working on fighting the fires north of town. You know, I'm a retired professional firefighter. I hadn't fought a fire in 10 years. I'm driving into town on Highway 87 yesterday morning, and I see it coming at Grape Creek. And I see them out there, and I see all the houses, and I start slowing down to turn on March Road. And about that time, my cell phone rings. It was my brother. He's also a retired fireman. He said, "It looks pretty bad, doesn't it?" And I said, "Yeah, it does." He said, "You're going to go help them, aren't you?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "We have to, don't we?" I said, "Yeah, we do." So we turned around, went home, changed clothes, and went and helped them, and God bless them. They had every walk of life out there. You know what we did out there? There's a road called March Road, and the fire was coming right at March Road, and the other side of it was Grape Creek. Well, what they did, they drew a line, and they said, "This fire is not going to cross March Road. We're going to throw everything we have at it, and we're either going to stop it or we're not." Well, we stopped it at about 2. I left about 2 o'clock last night, so if I'm not real coherent, you'll understand. I really don't have a speech, just a couple of notes. But that's what I thought of it. And, you know, that's what we need to do as American people. We need to draw a line and say, "You're not crossing this line. No more excuses." You know, America is still the greatest nation on earth, and that proved it. We had people from the base from up north retire. I got down there, and there was 3 other retired firefighters and 3 active duty firefighters that were on their day off from the San Angelo Fire Department, and they were out there helping fight the fire. That's why we're the greatest nation on earth, not because of the government. You know, it is our duty to preserve freedom for our posterity. Now, anyone who knows me knew I grew up here in West Texas, and I have this thing about the truth, and that's I like telling it. Today, the truth is we face many problems in this nation. You know, our problem is, though, we have politicians, and we're always talking about treating symptoms instead of treating the cause. The cause is that we have abandoned the principles and values that made us the greatest nation on earth. And those are inclusion of God, limited government, economic freedom, and individual liberty. So what are the symptoms? Well, we have many crises. We hear about crises every day. We have crisis du jour. Well, what do y'all think the number one crisis in America today is? A lot of people tell me it's the debt. I say that's the number 2 problem in America today. To me, the number 1 crisis we face in America today is a bipartisan lack of leadership. You know, leaders stand up and take the bulls by the horns, and I don't see that happening. Our leaders today act more like spoiled children than adults. Every time I turn the TV on and I see President Obama, and what's he say? Blame Bush, blame Bush, blame Bush. I didn't do it, blame Bush. And I think, boy, that's terrible. And then I see the Republicans get on TV. And what do? The same thing. They increase the debt. I mean, you know, they're voting for these things going along. But what do I hear from the Republicans? Don't blame him, don't blame me, blame that Democrat behind that tree. You know, it's like I was at Walmart the other day, and this is what we've allowed to happen. You know, a little boy in line, we've all seen it. We're in line, a little boy trying to get candy or a toy, whatever it was, and his mama, "Billy, don't do that. Billy, don't do that. If you do that again, Billy, I'm going to spank you. Billy, you're going to get in trouble. Billy, 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 stop it." Well, that's what we've done with our politicians, and the result is that our politicians are acting like arrogant, spoiled school children, and when someone disagrees with them, they say things like, "If you disagree with me, go to the back of the line or I'll take you off my mail-in list." You know, the power of the Tea Party was evident last November, and it was evident in other states' primaries. You know, we keep saying hold accountable, but we don't. Bailouts, earmarks, spending. How many incumbents did we hold accountable in the state of Texas in the primaries last year? Okay? We do like little puppies. We make excuses. We get a new puppy, and what we're doing, our puppy keeps peeing on our carpet. But instead of taking our puppy outside, we keep making excuses and buying more carpet fresh. Well, what can we do? We need to educate ourselves. You need to learn the language of Washingtonese. Some examples. A $5 trillion increase in spending is called a $5 trillion cut. A pledge to cut $100 billion turns into $352 million. Know their records. Actions do speak louder than words. Know how they've really voted. And where do they stand on issues that are important to you? Issues such as globalization, bailouts, earmarks, and social issues. What have they done to advance freedom? You know, if you don't know, sadly, the answer probably is nothing. The thing is, as bad as Nancy Pelosi is, as bad as Harry Reid is, Barney Franklin, the bottom line is, us in San Angelo, Texas, they don't represent us. And there's nothing we can do about it. We cannot vote them out of office. We cannot hold them accountable. Who we can hold accountable, of course, we all vote for president. But we have 2 state senators we can hold accountable. We have a congressional representative we can hold accountable. We have a state representative we can hold accountable. And we have a state senator that we can hold accountable. And all our local officials we can hold accountable. And that's where we can make a difference. You know, there's 3 kinds of politicians. I've summed this up. There's wolves, sheepdogs, and Judas goats. Now, we all know what a wolf is. We can see the wolves. I just named some wolves. They're obvious, and we all know to fight the wolves. Then you have the sheepdogs. They look a lot like a wolf, act a lot like a wolf, but their motivation is totally different. They're there to stop the wolves. They're there to protect from the wolves. Sad thing is, I have thought, and I can count about 10 of them in Washington, in the House and the Senate combined. And then we have the Judas goats. The Judas goats are the greatest danger to me. The Judas goats say what you want to hear. They convince you. And then they go up and vote exactly the opposite. Okay? The problem is, some of them don't remember. Our main problem is, they don't remember why they went there. They only know that they want to stay there. What kind of politicians do we have? That's the questions we need to be asking.